The Plant Microbe Genomics Facility is a core resource at The Ohio State University. We basically serve the genomics community by providing services for fees. So we are like a private, not-for-profit business within the university.
PMGF, headed by Mike Ziani, supports researchers at Ohio State and beyond by analyzing DNA, RNA, and protein samples.
Samples can vary considerably depending on the nature of what they are and what's required of them. The bulk of our work is done for DNA sequencing. It's fairly routine. Samples are sent in. They're delivered in small polypropylene centrifuge tubes, typically about this size or smaller. We process about 50,000 samples a year. So there's a fair number going through.
Given the number of samples and the technical nature of modern molecular biology, PMGF is heavily dependent on commercial instrumentation.
All of our instruments are manufactured by outside vendors. We have no custom instrumentation. Many of them are some of the biggest names in instrument makers in biological fields. So, for example, we have an instrument from Applied Biosystems, although they're now known as Life Technologies. So, forgive me, in the past couple of years, a lot of these companies have merged and fused and divided themselves up, so there's been a lot of change in the industry.
But for all the flux in the instrumentation industry, gathering instruments in a core facility adds value and stability for researchers.
These instruments are not unique to either us. There's other places at OSU that have these instruments, but they're generally outside the budget of an individual lab. So what the reasoning is, you bring these all together, make them a core unit, make them work together, and share the resources across researchers across campus and so forth to make it worthwhile to have these instruments. But they're not particularly expensive. Our most expensive one cost about $500,000, so brand new. I guess it depends on your perspective whether it's expensive or not.
Most instruments are connected to a computer to control the instrument and to acquire data. Having computers on the network simplifies the data flow within PMGF's lab.
So all the computers in the lab are networked. Okay, almost all. I shouldn't say that. 3 of them are not. They are hooked up to instrumentation, and the vendors who manufacture the instruments don't support updates, don't support networking, don't support any security functions, any sort of antivirus, any anti-malicious software. So those are kept offline completely. So there's no physical connection to the network with those.
From the vendor's point of view, the important part is the instrument. A computer just provides the user interface to the instrument. And as valuable as a core facility such as PMGF is to researchers at Ohio State, industrial labs are a much larger market for instrument vendors. So computer security isn't an instrument vendor's foremost concern.
We are hostage to the operating systems of the software, of the manufacturer's software. So right now, we're dealing with XP in the lab because more than half the computers in the lab have XP on them and they can't be updated. They simply cannot be updated because the software doesn't work on any newer versions of Windows. And we're worried about it the day that XP is no longer supported, which I know is coming soon. But the vendors have no intention of updating their software at this point.
And this could present a challenge to PMGF's business.
The bulk of our revenue is coming from the 3730 DNA analyzer from Applied Biosystems. We're stuck. There's no intent. We do not have the latest versions of the software, but the latest versions of software aren't meant to work with Vista or 7 either, and they don't. We've been lucky. One instrument, although it's only validated for Vista, does work on 7, which is nice. Another instrument we just purchased this year to support the Roche genome sequencer is validated for Vista. We try to run it on 7. It crashes the computer instantly. So it doesn't work on 7. And I've asked the company about it, and there's no intention at this point, or at least they won't give me any when it'll be ready to be validated on 7. So I think it's got a lot to do with economics. The companies don't want to put the money or time and effort into validating the software with 7. So at this point, we're stuck. Money's not going to help our main revenue-generating instrument in the facility. And it's also the bulk of our work. And not only is it's the most important, we do the most work with it, we do generate the most revenue with it, and we're stuck with XP.
To continue their success, PMGF relies on instrument vendors, but ignoring computer security concerns imperils their business. Fortunately, in this example, we have some time to devise a solution, and PMGF and their IT support team are certainly motivated.
We felt like we've used instrumentation well for the facility. We've got over 300 clients, current clients, at OSU and around the country. Our revenues have grown from roughly, the first year was a little over $25,000, and now we're at $400,000 every year revenues. So it's been a challenge.
Obviously, PMGF has met that challenge. They're a great asset to many researchers at Ohio State, around Ohio, and even internationally. But because instrument vendors have their own bottom lines to worry about, industrial labs are a more interesting market to them.
We're small potatoes, and we're left to deal with it as best we can, given the changing environments of computers. And that becomes an issue.